Gravitrons. I'm more gravity. Let's play chess. Just finished this game. I'm really excited about it. Uh, it was not. This game was not the most accurate rating, accuracy wise. I think it was high 60s and 70s or something. But I think we'll enjoy reviewing this game. Anyway, here I had the black pieces and I played e5. This is one of these early attempts to pretty much catch people in a it's a trap, but the thing about the trap is it's of course it's not absolute, or else we wouldn't have chess, right? But also, uh, if black refutes the trap, white is usually at least well off enough to make a game out of it. It's not like if black, some traps if you don't fall into the trap, then the guy trying to set the guy, gal, or person trying to set the trap, guys and gals are people too, but the other player who's trying to set the trap might be in a really bad way. This trap is not like that, so I don't know. I don't advise it. The white will still be in a slightly worse position, so experienced players will play perhaps knight c6 and then continuing to go for the trap. Um, Bishop c4 uh, makes sure that black must answer against the threat. Queen takes f7, checkmate. Okay, there's a couple ways to do this. I think the two strongest ways are queen f6, and she's in the game, but also covering the f7 square for now two times between the queen and king. And like I played in the game, queen e7. Again, just making sure simply to cover the square. I think possible also the move pawn to g6. Attacking black's queen with the pawn, maybe preparing a fianchetto. I wouldn't advise it given the pawn on e5. But the queen moves are strong. Queen e7, queen f6 are strong. Pawn to g6 is fine. Just don't fianchetto your bishop necessarily. I mean, you can, but anyway, those are the ideas. I like queen e7 to keep alive the possibility of uh, developing with an attack against white's queen. So developing with tempo is good for black here. So I keep that, at least keep that hope, that dream alive. So here we have knight f6, developing with tempo. Queen goes all the way back to d1, and yeah, the board's about equal. I mean, development is equal. Both sides have strong stakes or claims in the center here, so it's a game. We're playing chess. Knight a5 is one of these moves I thought it was a little bit quirky, a little bit weird. I thought I'd venture to play it. Um, it's just, normal aims would be like pawn to d6 and then some kind of development from the c8 bishop. But here, knight a5, just, forcing white to make some kind of decision about the bishop on c4. The decision made was not a good one. I'm critical of this move. Bishop to d3. It's just sort of blocking a whole bunch of stuff while also providing more protection to the e4 pawn. I'm not sure that was necessary. So yeah, bishop d3 is. I don't know if that's really white's best move there. But you kind of, as white with white to move, you kind of think, where is my best move? I could lose my bishop while doubling pawns. I could bring my bishop all the way back to e2 after he's been in the fray and in the struggle here. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe I think bishop e2 is fine just to show flexibility. Or pawn to b3 to show that maybe pawn advances against this bishop are outnumbered. So white can afford to play pawn to b3 and just have the bishop protected at this point. Also, queen to e2. Yeah, there we go. It's got queen to e2 here. But yeah, make the move bishop to d3 just keeps everything clustered together, and it will make white have difficulty coordinating. c5. Black is just continuing to push against the bishop. d3 to allow the dark squared bishop to develop. And bishop e6 is a fine square for black's light squared bishop to keep a lot of pressure on the d5 square, but also protect c4 a second time, as he is attacked 2 times by way of x-ray. Bishop d2, pawn takes d3, and bishop takes d3. So, yeah, white has resolved the coordination issues. We look at this, but we think white is well coordinated. Black, I'd say also, it will take a tempo to move the queen out of the way of the f8 bishop, but mostly both sides have clear plans of moving forward or consolidating their position. Black probably will choose to attack with knight c4, although knight c6 is a good choice. To keep things compact and less complicated, should black choose to do that. Knight c4. So there's some sort of disagreement about how to move the pieces on the queen side. The queen captures. Rook to c8. I thought it was the right moment for this. Simple attack. And we noticed that black pretty much must play a6 immediately. Kingside castles, and black to castle soon after. Well, black would have castled soon, and here I smell blood, so to speak. Bishop takes h3, and after g takes h3, queen takes h3. My opponent has an extra point of material, but this is tight quarters here on the king side for white. Okay. So knight g5 was some kind of mistake. I'm not sure if I really if I found the mistake. Let's go to the analysis and see how black could have better proceeded. And the idea is queen h5. Queen g4 keeps the lead intact, levying an attack against white's king. That after the king moves, and he must move, it looks like there could be some discovered attack unveiled by way of knight to h5. We're now attacking the g5 white knight twice, and who knows, maybe there's ways for that knight to become more aggressive by playing forward. My opponent found computer best move. There's 2 moves to choose from, and this one is better. Knight back to h3, blocking the check, but then the check renews with knight to g2, and it looks like king to g2 holds on to some kind of tenuous hold, but also we note that Torch 4 sees this as better for white. F3, helping white out in the nick of time. After king to g2, knight to f6. Not sure about knight to f6, and then f3. It looks like white will just barely be able to hold. King to g2, and the strange move castles. Look, black has it might be intense pressure, but that doesn't mean that it's not also long term. Right? Black has all this pressure built up against white. We note too that we can deflect the queen with a exchange sacrifice on c3. So I'm wondering if white's defenses work without the queen, and I count 3 pieces and on the attack, you know, it might be difficult to defend. F3 gives something back, and then here, like I said, the deflection, the queen sort of falls for it, but then after knight to e2, check, black will recover the exchange with knight takes f1, and that's, I see now, is not the best move. Only good move here, bishop g5. Plans of playing bishop to f4 check, and using the fact that the knight is pinned to use the f4 square. When the queen moves, or when the king moves, it looks like that will then be checkmate. After a check on g3, king moves to h1, and then checkmate on g2. Queen to g2 checkmate. There's one way that checkmate can be pursued. Anyway, I saw the exchange and I thought, I'll go for it. I want to take a time out though to say, this is the type of position where, you know, actually I'm not sure. If given a lot of time, I might have found bishop g5, but well, maybe not. It's a 2-move maneuver. I don't know. Maybe I might have to work on those in my game in future, starting like now. Anyway, knight takes f1 was played, and this is what I want. This is a really cool finish, I felt at the time, and let's see, probably still, because after rook to g1 doesn't seem like a crazy bad move. We're attacking a piece that's technically attacked twice, because in order to capture it, black would have to break the pin that would prevent the capture of the second black piece, the queen. So white is threatening to win a piece, and it just looks not all that dangerous with the rook on a better file, what would usually be a better file, not in this specific case, and that's it. And it's not such a bad looking move. I think my opponent will have played this move without really feeling all that bad about it, and I can still feel good that I found the only good move for black, also the only move for black that has black with a strong advantage or any advantage. after having been played. So I feel really good about bishop f4 check. King moves to g3, and we'll try to hold on to that knight on h3. Now playing simply for peace, I played queen g3 check. The king must move, and the knight will be lost. So queen takes h3 check, another move by the king, and queen h2 check. This is interesting because the pin prevents rook g3. The pin prevents rook takes g3, and the attack on the square prevents king takes g3. So we get this sort of like claustrophobic feeling about bishop to g3. This is kind of weird, guys. Like in terms of constellations of pieces, this is a little bit weird, but it works. It is still, and the computer agrees, it is still computer best move. The idea is simply to kick the king away from protecting the rook, and other moves will have black play checkmate as well. So king to f1, another check with queen to h1 check, and then rook to g1 leaves open f3 for the checkmate. So otherwise, it's given this position, it's not a bad move. Then queen takes f3 checkmate. So I was really happy about sort of the end game, the end of the game here. I played some strong moves. Oops, I don't want to go quite that far. Let's go back to my board here. Let's start right around. So that's all for today, folks. Try to time this right. Thank you all for watching. Thank you, Gravitrons. I'm more gravity. Have a great night.